Okay, so let me just get the files to show you what I was talking about again.
Yeah, now we see it.
Yes. Okay, so we've got a blank file that I originally gave Joshua as part of his test for skills test. That's the sample or the template that I used to create my books. Okay, notice it's got a little bit of shadow at the bottom, and that's all it's got. Okay, so there's the blank sample. Now, obviously, I've set it up. I use Photoshop, but you don't need to use Photoshop. You can use whatever app you're using. It's a technique I want you to apply. So I'm just going to launch Photoshop. Yeah, it's launched. Okay. Let me get the screen in. Okay. So here's the. It's already got a book in, but let's just switch the cover I've made on these books off. Okay. So there's the blank sample again. I'm just going to make it smaller so we can all see it on this. There we go. Okay. So now there's the blank sample. Now, okay. So here's the two covers we're going to work with. So we're going to start with the first one. Let me just try and move this out the way a bit. I'm going to drag this one and just drag it onto my screen. Okay, just set it to a specific size. You'll notice immediately there's something about it I don't like, and that is this big black line around the edge, because that's you just don't do that on a book cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first in my app I've got a rasterizer to work on it because I dragged and dropped it in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it. You see there, just that grey inner edge. I'm going to grab that just inside that, and I'm going to take that as the book cover. Just there like that. Okay, I'm going to say, and then I'm just going to delete this. Delete. Okay. So now I've got a way of transforming it. So I use a thing called distort, and I drag it to the edges like there, there, there. I'm sure GIMP's got its own way of doing this. Yeah, that's it there. Notice I left the spine, the little shadow in the spine there. Okay, and it's now sitting on the cover of the book. So if I go off it, if I apply, it looks like it was always there. Okay, you'll notice there's a little edge over there, and not that you can see it, but there's an edge over there. So what I do is I take the eraser. Ooh, too big. Just make it smaller and make it a bit sharper. And I zoom in, and I just clean up this little overlap edge there. So you can see that edge. Figure there's two keys I can use here to do this. I want to erase the straight edge. Okay, it did. It erased it. There we go. It erased the straight edge all the way down. Okay. Unfortunately, I didn't lay this 100% correct there, so what we're going to do is still use the eraser just to clean this up a bit, yeah? Okay. Now this is very fine detail. You'll never notice this because you're looking at the book from a distance. Okay, that's what you see. Okay, but it's nice to just clean up edges. Those edges are working fine. Now what I do is I want to create a reflection of the book. So what I do is I copy the bottom half, okay, of the book. So I copy it, just put it back into the position it was. There we go, just accurately to position on the edge of the page. Come on, why is it fighting me? There we go. Okay, now what I do is I just invert it. I'd use the same tool that I used to distort this page here. I grab my distortion tool and I grab the top edge and I pull it down. Okay. I take the bottom edge and I put it right on there, and I take the top edge and I pull it down. And I know for a fact, okay, let me just go smaller so you can see what I'm doing. I know for a fact that the proportions optically, when I look at it, should look something like this. Obviously I'm not seeing this, but I still pull this to look like that, and the reason is to get the reflection in the right position, to get everything in the right position. So the fact that this book hasn't got much to show off down here is a bonus. But I'm going to pull that edge so that edge touches the bottom of the book there, and this edge touches the bottom of the book there. See, those two edges touch. So that's now a pretty good representation of a reflection. So I can settle that. But now it's not, it doesn't look like a reflection. And the reason it doesn't look like a reflection is because it's got too much bigger than that. It's taken by just delete. You want it to look like a reflection. So you don't want it to show past this. See this edge here? You must make sure that you definitely have white on that edge. Because if anything, because if it touches that edge, it'll look like the picture's been cut. So it must never look like the picture's been cut. What I also do, and it will show better on the other book. This book's a bad example of showing the reflection because it doesn't really have much happening down here in the bottom. But what I do as well is I take the whole image's transparency down a bit. See? So all you're seeing is that little reflection of the text. That's all you're really seeing, and a little bit of the book spine itself. That's all you're seeing reflected on this book. And that is this book done. So now I can save this book, and I can save it as, I save it for web because I save it as a PNG. And sorry, my save tool's on a different page. Yeah, the save tool. And size, I leave it the standard size, okay, the same size. I don't change the size, even though it's quite big. And then I create a new book, because it's, you see inside here, these are all the different books. So I create a new book. There it is there. What was the name of this book? Let me just check here. What was the name of this book? There it is there. Let's just grab the name. Control C. And book cover white gets replaced with, so I give it the correct name. Okay, so I can find it easily. Building Cybersecurity Awareness. And that's the name of the book. I'm going to say 2 because I've got a suspicion there's more than one. I'm going to make it 3 because I've got a feeling there's more than this has been used before. Okay, I'm pretty sure I created a book like this already. But anyway. So there, Building Cybersecurity Awareness, and I've given it 3 on the end just so that there's not a duplication of numbers. And it must save now inside this, and this folder that I've created must have the same name. So just give it the name. Okay. Cybersecurity Awareness, let's see, is there anything like that already there? No, nothing like that, okay. So where's it gone? There it is there. And I must just save. Why is it unavailable? There we go. Save it inside them. Okay, so now I've saved my book cover. All right. So now what I do is I'm going to do the next book, which is probably a better example of a book cover. Okay, well, even yeah, it's got something down the bottom here. Both of these are terrible examples for teaching you, but okay. But there's our book. Okay, so now I'm going to use the same mechanism again. So I just switch off the 2 latest components, and I go and grab that the next book, and I drag and drop it in. Okay, so here's our next book. Just make it nice and big here. Okay. Once again, it's got this horrible black line around it, which we don't want to have on a book. So we can trim that off. Here we go. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, let's go to the correct place. There we go, the correct layer. Then I'm going to use this tool again, this transformation tool, distort, and I'm going to bring it back to its positions it must be. It's on the cover of the book, so it's there, and this one must go that edge there. This comes down to this edge here. This comes down to this edge there. Okay. And then what I must do is just clean up the little corners again. So I zoom in.
Edges.
No, just it's a little detail that somebody looking would notice. So I just want to neaten it a little bit, just so that you it does look like. It's just a little detail. Okay, let's go down to the bottom of it. And we do the same down here. Just a little detail that people will notice if you don't do it properly. Okay. Okay, so now I want to grab the bottom half of it to make a reflection. So I just grab it like that. Let's make it exactly like that. Okay, and I Control C, Control V, move that to the perfect position like that. Okay, now what I do is once again I grab the distortion tool and I go down, drag this down. Notice I keep it in straight line. Same here, I make sure it's straight line. My app, I can hold the shift down, will give me that. And then I just bring this up until those two things touch. But you notice that's not touching where it should touch, and that's because the shape we've got here is wrong. So watch what happens when I pull this down a bit. Look how it pulls it back in. See, that starts matching to where it should be. Okay, so that's my reflection, but now we want to make sure the reflection looks like a reflection, so we go back to our eraser tool, make it nice and big again, that's about the size, and make it nice and soft, and we just erase here close to this edge because we don't want to have anything bleeding over this edge here. See, I bleed this, I made sure this edge is bled properly, then I go to the overall, and I just trim it down. See, so it looks like a reflection. There we go, we've got a reflection. So, and notice it's stronger closest, and that's it. Could also give it another one, a little wipe like that, just to strengthen the illusion. There we go. Okay, and then if you zoom out of the picture, you've got your book with its reflection. Okay, now save that one. Save as, and we're going to get the name of that. Sorry, cancel save for web. Save. And the name we want to give it is Control C. That's the name we want to give the book cover. And we want to create a folder for it to go into. So we create a new folder, and the new folders with the same name. Okay. It's just the way I store things, so that I've got everything. I can always find my information. And then we want to put it into this folder, so this folder must just, this is there, okay, and we save. Alright, so we saved that book. Alright, now Josh, I'm going to send you this sample template, this book template, and then you must use this to create books in future for this site. Unfortunately, using a different book tool will give you a different look, and we want them to look conformist. We finished with this now, so we can switch those two off, and I can close this. It will save my, I've got all my book covers there in this app ready to deploy at any time. But you can see the different ones that I've done. I mean, if I just switch them on like that one and that, see there's this reflection. Well, that's not its reflection. Its reflection is probably above it, sorry. There's its reflection. Oh, come on. Oh, stop it. Okay, it's closing. All right. Right, so now what we want to do is we want to deploy it into the website, so it's easy. Storm warning, we go to the front of the website, we go to the blog, sorry, to services, go down to bookshop, and you say you've added the 2 new books. Oh, I see, you just duplicated covers, okay. So the one we're looking for is these 2 here.
Yeah.
These 2 here. Okay, so you've got the wrong book covers in here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's easy enough. All we do is
only the room.
I must just sign in, log in.
Yeah.
Go
The description and then the accent is different for those. It's tailored for those books. It's only the covers that are
okay.
the same.
So it's these 2 here. I just want to double check the names. So
Yes.
Building a cyber security awareness. Building, there you go. So it's that one and that one. Okay. So these are the two we want to edit. So let's just go to this and edit. Powerful tool this. You never had this in the old days. You had to do everything from the back end. Okay, so we want to edit this cover here. So we clear it. We choose a new cover. We upload our new cover. We upload files. We go to store morning. We go to books. And it was building. Where it will be building. There we go. That's the one there. There's the cover we want to use. Upload it. Put it in. Insert it. And there it is. We've got the correct cover. And we do the same with this one. Clear the cover we got there. Choose. Upload files. Books. What was this one called again? This one was called
NIST implementing
implementing NIST. Yeah. Okay. Implementing NIST. So that is over here.
Yeah, there's
the cover. Open. And we insert it. There we go. Save. And if it's finished saving, we can close. Let's make 100% sure that it's saved. Okay. Close. Okay, and there's our new 2 books in position. And notice they tie up, everything looks neat and tidy, everything looks similar, and that's the reason why we do it this way. You'll notice the reflections are more obvious on certain books, but there we go. All right. Just to keep a similar theme going with the books.